bring the meeting to order. Would somebody like to do a pledge of allegiance to the iPhone? Oh, don't make Mahal get up, geez. Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Amen. Thank you. Just for the record, the meeting announcement we've announced it a couple times in our last previous meetings, and also it's been posted publicly downtown at the RAD, in the Buffalo News, and if memory serves me, there was one other place we did it. One other place. Oh, the website compliments of Mr. Wander. Any public comment? My kind of meeting? Approval of the May 4th, 2016 minutes. Wow. Thank you. We have a motion to approve by Cliff. We have a second, but I don't need the names. I didn't announce the quorum, but it's okay. Anything on the question? All in favor? Any nays? It's passed. Correspondence. Mr. Zimrat.
All righty. Hopefully everyone got them. Niagara Medical Management, a PAD application for Pittsford. Law offices Mark Butler, professional services. Erie County EMS course applications. Erie Community College course applications. Ronald Stanzik, a CLI lab instructor course paperwork. Erie Community College course applications. Law offices Mark Butler, professional services. USPS certified mail for a package from Mr. Hogan. Rural Metro applications, Erie County EMS course applications, Erie County Community College course applications, Erie Community College course, a lot of course applications. Hogan Willig, attorneys at law, an application for New York State EMS service expansion of primary operating territory of ownership from Igor I'm not saying that right, Ambulance Service of Western New York Incorporated, and a $10,000 check. Strikersville Volunteer Fire Company, application for EMS service expansion of primary operating territory. And from John Adolph, his resignation from the council. The Strikersville letter. To whom it may concern, the Strikersville Volunteer Fire Company Rescue Squad is requesting expansion of operating territory in the town of Holland and the town of Bennington, and in Harris Corners Fire Company District of EMS ambulance coverage per the request of New York State Department of Health. New York State Department of Health notified Strikersville Fire and EMS that many years ago the proper procedure was not followed by all parties to operate in said areas of the town of Bennington and the town of Holland. Please note that Strikersville Fire and EMS does hold copies of certificates issued by New York State Department of Health showing all the areas in question are on the operating certificate. Strikersville Fire and EMS have completed the recommended paperwork per the New York State Department of Health to resolve these issues in all areas to their normal operating territory and contractual agreements in question. Strikersville Fire and EMS have served this area with the highest level of care possible. The area in the town of Holland includes Saunders Hill Road and Parker Road, and the attached street addresses on the map included. In the town of Bennington, we have not provided ambulance service. We have provided ambulance service to Fonsdale Road, Forkle Road, Bailey Road, Bear Road, and Borough Road, with the street addresses on that map included. We hope this process will move forward and look forward to resolving this matter. If you have any questions or concerns, feel free to contact us. And then from the attorneys, it was just, as I said, it was an application for your next New York State Service, Department of Health 377 for an ambulance service. To whom it may concern, please find enclosed herewith 2 original applications for the New York State EMS Service DOH 377 with attachments and certified check in the amount of $10,000 payable to Wyoming-Erie Regional EMS Council. Please advise if any additional information is needed at this time. Thank you. That is all.
Any questions on the correspondence? Treasurer's report, Ms. Barber. or questions? We have a motion to accept. We have a second on the question further. All in favor? Any nays? Passed. Anything from the Medical Advisory Committee? I'll call to you. I don't have anything. All right. State Council, Cheryl can't make it today. This is the first meal that this is the first meeting she might have missed in some time. And she wanted to know if we could brown bag one for her, and I said sure. So, but there was no report from the State Council. As far as relieving her, I've gotten no notification officially that we have a new member. I'm getting some communication from the state about the but nothing official from the state that we have a new representative. So it's still between me and Brian. We don't know who's who yet. So, but I'll be planning on going to the next meeting, and Brian's also planning on going. Erie County, G. Gill. Erie County is asking the non-fire-based ambulance services to come together and meet to discuss the changing facade of EMS in Erie County, particularly with the change with our AMR coming in, with change of operating certificates out there and all those challenges. And what our goal is just to get everybody in the room, talk, find out where we're going. No competitive intelligence exchange, but basically let's all work together and let's not have any surprises. So the goal is to talk about not only the changing contracts that are out there, but mutual aid plans. The state has an advisory out that says that mutual aid plans need to be sent to the council here and approved. Also, there's county law that says that if there is an ALS coordinator, those mutual aid plans should be presented for review to the county coordinator, which hasn't been done in some time. So we're just going to try and catch up on all that stuff so that everybody knows what's going to happen. And then we're going to expand that into an MCI group. What are we actually going to do in MCI? We all have MCI plans. Some people share with certain, but I don't think there's an in-stone plan for Erie County. And so we're going to bring those, again, non-fire-based groups together because they provide most of the coverage to ambulances. We asked the state to come, and they graciously agreed to come, I think, right? I haven't angered you. So we'll meet on the 27th just to get things started again for communication purposes. The county's also putting together and going to execute an active shooter program that is similar to what happens in Oriskany. What we want to do is try to standardize some of the responses to active shooters. There's a number of groups working together in their own individual areas to produce their procedures and protocols. But our question is, how does it all fit into if it's a larger countywide incident? So we're going to have this on the 26th and 24th and 25th of July. It'll be 2 stages. One will be at the Erie County shooting range up in Lancaster. The second day will be down at 1200 East and West in some of the abandoned buildings. We've reached out to, again, the non-fire-based ambulance services to have 2 of their people come, take the class, critique it so we can expand it and give it more times throughout the year. But that'll be happening there. If anybody's not doing anything and wants to come and observe, you're more than welcome. If anybody wants to be a victim, we have very interesting victims. Everybody's going to be moulaged, and there'll be some aggressor victims, some non-aggressor victims, so it looks to be a fun time. So if anybody wants to help out, be a victim, or know somebody that wants to be a victim, send them my way. We have a new deputy of Commissioner of Fire in the county, Jim Rieger. There was about 16 people who put in for the position, and he was the one after a couple of weeks of interviews and other things. So he's just started. Basically, he started Monday, and we have a firefighter 1 boot camp going on. So he's been christened awfully fast. So that was pretty good. As far as the EMS Advisory Board, still exists. we're trying to, again, get somewhat more active. If anybody's interested in being on the advisory board, we're looking for people. It meets every other month. Last month we tried to change things around by having a phone conference, making it easier for people during summer months. But if anybody's interested in it, just contact me, and we'll give you some information about what the advisory board does and how we're going to work it out in the future. There is a fire advisory board, and there's an emergency management advisory board. And the goal of the county is to start bringing them all together, because some people go to 3 meetings. And so what we want to do is we want to have the meetings on the same night in the same building and kind of intermix, because what we're talking about in EMS might be relevant to fire. It's definitely relevant to emergency management. So we want to try and work that all out together. So if anybody's interested in being on that board, just let me know. And I think that's it for Erie County. Wyoming County, Mr. Stryker.
Yes, a little bit quieter Wyoming County. We made it to our 3-day concert event. A little bit more eventful this year. It was fighting the whiteboard on the campground. So taking a good hard look at next year's event. EMS was pretty quiet. We as well are working on an active shooter. We've had a couple meetings with the sheriff. Once he gets his folks all totally trained, then we're going to be working on the fire EMS side and creating a working relationship and responsibilities and stuff. We have had a few meetings with operations meetings that I think we've very good training. More involved in that. Priorities for the departments as we roll this training out will be the districts where the schools are located. Rural communities is most important. So that's how I get that. When we look at the manufacturing, we do that a little bit of manufacturing.
Bill, if you want to send somebody to observe what we do, what we're going to do, you're more than welcome to send somebody out. And, yeah, I look forward to it. Come on out and give us a little critique and help us out. And
What's the date yours again?
mine's 24th and 25th of July. All right, anything for Mr. Stryker? West New York Stress? Do you have anything, bud? I know they've been busy. It's just like everything else in our business. It's hit and miss, busy, quiet. But there is some training coming up, and hopefully I'll post it with our minutes, the training that's coming up. Committees. Budget, Mr. Santoro, there's no report. I don't think there's been a meeting for budget committee, right? No, say no. All right. All right. Membership for Ms. Lapp, she couldn't make it tonight, and she says there's no new members in the Pike. I have given out a couple of applications. All right. Training and Ed, Mr. Zemrek, and yes, I did jump a line. Don't forget me.
Oh yeah. Training education, I received course applications and then they have been filed. I received from Rural Metro AMR Medical Services renewal of their course sponsorship paperwork and EMS training. It all looks to be in order. The chair needs to sign that. And also not on the agenda, because I got it today, is Erie County EMS's course sponsor renewal paperwork. And briefly I looked at it and that looks to be in order too. So.
Do we have to motion or anything?
I don't know. Jim, do we have to motion him signing these, or the course sponsor renewal paperwork?
Just accept it? Okay. I jumped over C1 for a minute. We'll get back to that, okay? Anything for training and ed? Bylaws, Mr. Glass.
Yeah, actually we do.
Uh-oh. He never has anything.
Get it right because you're going to be here a while. It's time for the annual, well, actually it's been 4 years, so it's time for our bylaw review. What we've talked about in the past, I'm going to present 3 changes tonight, actually 4 changes. These will be read out tonight, they'll be sent out.
Any question for bylaws? Thank you. Awards we'll skip. It's kind of obvious right now. Operations, nothing. Program agency.
Report was distributed, just a couple of high points off of here. The annual credentialing reporting period ended for June 30th. All of those reports were due on July 1st. To date, out of 110 services that were required to comply with the REMAC requirement, all but 26 have submitted. Take a look at the list of the services that are on here. If you are one of those services, or if you are a friend of one of the services, please reach out to them and make sure that they get this information in. Our marching orders from the REMAC are very, very clear. As of August 1st, any service that does not report, they will receive a letter, as will the officials from the townships in which they serve, stating that that service is no longer authorized to provide EMS within that geographic region, and that they'll need to come up with a plan B.
There he is.
So it's kind of a big deal. Make sure that everybody gets their information in. We're also going to be proactively reaching out to these services to find out what happened. Probably the last, well, there's about three other things. The provider portal, the web-based provider portal that I've talked about previously, that is being implemented. We had about 4 or 5 services that submitted their annual skills this year through the system, and the feedback has been extremely positive from that. Over the next few months, we're going to be implementing this throughout the entire Wyoming-Erie system. All services are going to need to be on this web-based system within the next few months. This is where you're going to manage all of your service approvals, all of your providers as they associate, disassociate, become certified, uncertified, and whatnot. It really is going to be a great tool to help with the management of the personnel within each of your services. And I think you're going to find this to be a huge benefit to the management of your operations. There's a BLSFR update. All BLSFRs in the region, of which there are, I think, about 40 between Wyoming and Erie. I have to go through this update. We have, this is a New York State every 5-year thing for these services. We've had about 6 that have returned their things, at least that we're aware of. So if you are a BLS first response service, in other words, you don't have an ambulance and you are basic level only, make sure that they have received that paperwork and that they're getting that stuff turned into New York State, and also a copy to us. The medical direction line at the Buffalo VA Hospital has changed, and that is promulgated here. There's also a fax line for 12 EDKGs. Mercy Hospital Buffalo is no longer offering inpatient pediatric services. It's not that you can't take pediatric patients to the emergency department, because the emergency department is still able to care for pediatric patients. They're not going to be admitting them. Lots of CME coming up. Really, the month of September is going to be pretty jam-packed. There's summer EMS meeting at Bertrand Chaffee Hospital on July 25th at 6 o'clock. You can RSVP for that. And other than that, everything else is in here. You can read it. Thanks.
Anything for the program agency? Thank you, Scott. Steering committee, program agency steering committee.
We decided to take the next couple months off and get back at it for September.
Gotcha. Next couple of months. We're not impressing our guests that came to watch this. Could you just say we're rescheduling or something? I mean, thank you. Okay. Let's go back to CON. John Adolph has offered his resignation from the CON committee, and then following that was from the council. He offered it. I didn't take it. Then he just submitted it. So John's not with the council anymore, and therefore that leaves us an opening on the CON committee. And I anticipate there's going to be busy for the next couple of months on the CON committee, so I've taken the liberty to restructure the CON committee based on people's strengths. So I've asked Brian Bronner to be the chair of the committee. He knows Article 30 better than most. All right, so I think that's a good choice to him. You can all agree with me or not, but that's what I'm going to do. I've asked Mark Zabanik to also be on the committee from Erie County, and Cheryl, as a past chair, and the knowledge base she has of the CON process, I've asked her to be on it, and Mr. Stryker is just about to find out that he was chosen to be. So let's all join Mr. Stryker in Excel. So if you wouldn't mind doing that for me, I'd appreciate that. Come on, Poppy. The bar's on the other side. So that's going to be the new CON committee, of which, by the way, for the CON committee, we have some work for you. Apparently, we have a couple things that have been dropped off, so we will refer Strikersville and the new service Ambulance Western New York, Inc., to the CON committee. I'll give it right to Brunner, okay? Let's see. Old business. Mr. Butler, would you do me the favor and just, we have listed the state's decision on Mercy EMS in Springville, and just give your unabridged analysis of it.
Good evening. The State Council met in May, and despite the certain recommendations from the administrative law judge to send the application back to the council for some further consideration, the State Council, on its own motion, approved the application of Mercy EMS for operation in the town of Concord in the village of Springville. And we've received no communication in that regard. That was a courtesy phone call that I got. That's all I have.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Any questions? Okay. New business. All-Star EMS Mutual Aid Agreement with Cattaraugus Indian Reservation. Has the state been notified of the request?
We were copied in from the Southwest Council, I'll tell you that. And I knew that at that meeting they were going to also continue to hear apply basically through their approval process.
Southwest Council had it.
They approved it. Their concern was, did they have about the operating authority, if there were, the pecking order of is there a operator who has CON authority that would be available first over them? And it appeared as to, the way they described it to the council was this area, there's not another CON holder with ALS level of care that could provide that. And I believe it's the same way, basically coming out of the Lake Shore or whatever. There's only in between that's ALS and those areas. So they did talk about it originating or destinating in a CON catchment area type thing. So that was the main discussion at that meeting. So, and I'm not, I'm not giving the specifics of they're basically, it's specific to when it originates the call originates in Erie County is what they were trying to say. They're still the closest provider is the way they described it. Now, you guys know the area better. If there's anybody in between, but when we looked at it, we didn't see anything that would be like a red flag to say these guys are sitting right here. Why would they jump over them to go to All-Star? So.
Okay. What's the wishes of the council? Do we want to vote on this? Do we want to forward it to the executive committee to review? What would you like to do? I mean, this hasn't been distributed, right? Was this in the communications?
I haven't distributed that.
Do you want us to distribute in communications and have a 2-3 week comment period and have the executive committee decide? What's your pleasure? You're leaving it on me. do we want to make a motion to accept it pending the review of the executive committee and approval of the executive committee? All right, so we have a motion, we have a second. Anything else on that question? All in favor? Any nays? All right, we'll send it to executive committee and they'll send out the recommendation hopefully shortly. What does Strikersville, is that their application?
That was, we're going over that.
Okay. Vital Signs 2016 is upon us. If I can make any recommendation to the state, if they could take the 15 off and stop putting up 16, because you keep going back there and it comes up to 15, and they need better coordination on that. It's confusing a lot of people. But the Vital Signs is up. In the past, we've covered the... Mr. Glass is going to argue with me. So, Mr. Glass, what do we cover? No, we take. It's right over here. Mr. Mahalka.
According to Mr. Behana, you will not be able to cover the cost of vital signs for council.
Okay. Any costs?
Zero cost.
Okay.
Inclusive of your
We have. Is that a policy statement? That's something in writing?
It's the way they're funding things and looking at not funding food, not funding conferences. So they had another council 2 months ago, month and a half ago. I don't know if he has the writing. You could probably contact him if you want the writing, or copy him as the director.
And if I can, the conversation was with Southwest Council. They had looked for clarity. They had a new chair, and even though Tom basically came back and said, they said, hey, can we still continue to pay for these things? And it turned out that the things were actually in the contract they had submitted and signed off on. So it was like they weren't doing anything wrong. Tom came back and said, well, here are, and they had some other questions too about funding and use of funds, but specifically those meals and the vital signs and those kind of things. And he came back with your fiscal responsibility is specifically for the operation of the council, whether it be rent, whether it be the operation expenses of the council, administrative fees, etc. And training and education. Although those were previously approved, everything is modified and changed going forward. So my recommendation to that council was, even though the stuff was previously approved, why don't you submit a request for clarity? And there's a form that he basically attached if you wanted to modify anything in your contract. If there's another way to seek approval for those things going forward. But he said basically that the way it was looked at, it was not going to be approved. So.
Okay. Mr. Glass.
And who is he to say it's such a thing? Is that a comptroller opinion, or is that a legal opinion, or is he basing this from his interpretation of the contract? Or
I'm not, I really can't, all I can say is from, he's the one who reviews the contracts and reviews the agreements with the council. That's why, I don't know if I would, make a decision tonight. My suggestion would be to have your finance committee perhaps set up a conference call with him, send him an email, ask for clarity, look at what's in your existing contract, if it was approved for vital signs. But I would suggest that, seek that clarity, and certainly I could,
I gotta agree with the controller, because some of the stuff that can't do for some sort of event, stuff like that, it's probably something.
it's something with the fiscal analysis that has occurred, so.
He handles all our fiscal and all our budget stuff. I don't wanna say this, but I'm pretty sure it's a controller.
And I don't think there's any issue in me sharing that, data form and those kind of things with him. I'm glad to show you the email that was sent to the Southwest Committee and treated you guys the same.
Yeah, but I guess my concern is if they make a decision like that, it's not distributed. Just like many other decisions that the state makes, that they don't disseminate. All
Like
right,
with Mercy EMS is another example. We put how many hours into that? A lawyer came in and just decided what we were supposed to do, and we get nothing from the state. Why? They get paid.
Was there representatives at the meeting? I think
I wasn't.
No, I'm saying you have representatives to the council, so you're probably assuming that's where they come from, your representatives back to the council. Right at that meeting, right?
pushing that on people. I mean, this is a decision that's
I'm
made at the
asking
state
were there
level,
representatives of the council there?
but they want us to follow rules that they don't disseminate. They want us to do, and it's not you guys. It's not you guys. It goes well beyond the Mercy EMS thing. Goes well beyond this. We tried to spend money on training and education. They decided things weren't training and education. There's very poor communication. All right, but we take it. So we'll have to hold on the vital sign. But if it's an email, is it official communication from the state?
I think what's happening is your contract expires, they're addressing it, that is what's occurring. So I'm not sure when your contract expires,
Yeah.
or renews, but it's, obviously Southwest is up, so,
Okay.
you know.
Madonna?
Or they inquired, you know what I mean?
Yeah, it sounds like they inquired. Madonna?
I believe we have another 4 years.
Oh, is it 4 years? Okay. Yeah.
I don't want to do something if it's not right. I mean,
I just want to see the agenda.
I should get clarified Casey. But I
Did a lot of the grants.
Yeah.
Tracy,
How many people does the council typically support?
it varies.
Due to the statewide attendance at this conference, if councils are no longer.
We might send 5, 6.
The state health department, other grants that we have through them, they have written down on availability of these grant funds to pay for meals. When we tie it into a full day of training, we have a morning and an afternoon component to the training that they have. They do have permission through federal grant funds to utilize dollars for meals, so there is some custody there.
Uh-huh. We're 1 year into our contract right now, and there was no question or
At that time, it was approving the contract.
right.
basically.
Mr. Butler?
I'll review the contract.
All right, Mr. Butler will review the contract, and we'll wait till September. Shall do. Thanks so much. He's going to counsel the council. Okay, did I miss anything? Watching the sausage be made. Does anybody want to join the council? All right, tonight's our, Mr. Glass, we have a motion. We have lots of motions to adjourn. Any, all in favor?